Hi there. Uh, Welcome to the Knits and Beads podcast. This is episode number 43, and my name is Lorelei Erdo. I'm a jewelry designer in upstate New York and have a knitting obsession, or hobby, if you will. And this is my little podcast to talk about what I've been knitting. Don't generally talk too much about jewelry, but I do have some to mention today. A new design that I've been playing around with. And if you're interested in seeing what I've been working on, I have 2 finished objects, a work in progress, some dream knitting, some new acquisitions, and some books to show you. Just keep on watching. Today isn't normally a day that I podcast, it's actually Sunday. My husband's out of the house today painting a house, so I figured it would be a good opportunity to sit down and show you some of my finished objects. I have 2 this week to show you, and talk a little bit about what's been going on the last few weeks. So today is Sunday. It's June something or other. I don't know, is it the 12th maybe? I think it's the 12th. This weekend there's a Central New York Fiber Festival going on in Belkville, which is not too far from my house, maybe an hour away. I really wanted to go, but I just had no money to spend, and you know how that goes. You don't really want to go to a fiber festival unless you can buy something, so I figured I would not put myself through that. So didn't end up going. And so this past week the weather has been slowly improving and was fairly good all week long. I live in upstate New York, by the way, and today it's going to be in the 90s. So I am not wearing my finished objects because of that, but I'll show them to you and try to maybe model them, I guess. But it's gonna be very warm the next few days. So I've got the house closed up, no windows are open. I'm trying to like save the cool that's in here from last night, but it's not working very well. I'm already sweating. Because once the sun starts blaring in this window, it's gonna be insanely hot. So I figured I'd get this out of the way now. So I'll just go ahead and get started. I have, like I said, 2 finished objects. The first object I finished is my Ariat shawl. This is designed by, on Instagram she's Knit Graffiti, but her name is Leslie Ann Robinson, and it's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. It's a brioche shawl, asymmetrical shape. Let's see if I can show this to you. It took me a really long time to finish this, a few months in fact, and a lot of the reason was because I was working on other things at the same time, of course. This is the back side. Both sides are wonderful. It's one of my favorite thing about this is that it's reversible, so you can kind of get 2 different looks. While wearing it, and the shape is kind of odd. I'm not really sure how to style it the best way, but you can kind of wear it like a scarf, I believe, and you can also drape it. It's really nice and squishy and warm. The yarn I used is Haven Fiber Arts. She's a Canadian dyer, and she's taking a little bit of a hiatus, so I hate to get you excited about these yarns. You can always contact her and see what her schedule is going to be like coming up in the future, but currently she's on a hiatus. This is her single ply fingering yarn, and I used 3 colors. This green is Grove, the white is Snowy Owl, and that teal is Spring Thaw. And I actually found the pattern, thought of the color combination that I wanted, and then contacted her directly to see if she would be willing to dye up these 3 colors, and she did. So I am extremely happy with this project, and I'm really glad that it's done because it took so long to make. But all in all, the pattern was very easy. It's just 2-color brioche, and there isn't really a lot of increases except here in the center, every few rows. And I don't know if you can see this, let me show you. These sections, there's a garter section, but then there's also a more textured section. Looks a little bit different. There, you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Super easy to knit. I definitely recommend this pattern, and I definitely want to be knitting more of Leslie's patterns in the future. She does beautiful, beautiful brioche designs. So that's my very first, finished object for this week. And like I said, I had been working on it for a while, and I had gotten all the way to here, like probably here, and I ran out of that grove. So I had to contact her, and she dyed up another skein of it for me, and the color match was pretty spot on. I mean, you can't even really tell that that was part of a different skein. And so I had to wait because Canada post to the United States takes a long time, a really long time. So I waited, and I got it, and like literally finished it like the next day after I had gotten it in the mail. So it was that's how much I was so close to being done. So anyway, I'm glad that it's done. And meanwhile, I have been working on other things. And I just am so obsessed with brioche knitting. I don't know if that's the case with everybody that's tried it, but I love it. Keeps my interest, and it does take longer. That's the only downside of brioche knitting. It does take longer, but I really enjoy it, and this was definitely a work of passion. Passionate about the knitting, and I really did enjoy it, and I am so very happy to have the finished object. Very happy. And I have yet started another brioche project, so I'll talk about that in my whips section. The second FO that I have, and this is a spoiler alert, if you are not finished with the Joji Locatelli Mystery Wrap Knit Along, please feel free to fast forward to this time, and I will post a timestamp on when you can fast forward to, so that you don't see this finished object. I just finished it officially today. It's done blocking, and I really am excited about it. And if you follow me anywhere on social media such as Facebook or Instagram, you probably have already seen a bazillion pictures of this, but I can't help myself. I just love it so much. Oh, I love it. So like I said, this is the mystery knit along. So if you are new to the idea of a mystery knit along, don't know what that is, basically the designer puts out a pattern, and when you choose to participate, you will get a clue. Hers was over a span of 5 weeks, and each Friday we got a new clue, and you knit the clue, but you have no idea what the finished object is going to look like in the end, until the end. And we've all shared our progress online on Instagram with hashtag starting point MCAL, I think, and the other one is Joji Mystery Wrap 2017 maybe. So she gives you a guideline to pick 5 colors, and at first I didn't know I was gonna want to do it, and I waited until, I probably talked about this in my last podcast, but I might not have. Yeah, I did, because I think I showed some of my progress, yeah. So I won't go too into detail about all this stuff, but I waited until it came out waited till the pattern came out and actually waited to see some of the progress and then decided to go ahead and participate. So I picked yarns all from my stash, and even though there were beautiful kits put together by different indie dyers all over the world, it wasn't in my budget to buy new yarn for this project. So I picked out some colors in my stash, and I'm really, really happy with the outcome of this wrap. So I'm gonna go ahead and show it now. This is one half of it. It's gonna be really hard to show you on the video, but I will include some video footage and pictures here so you can see it. It's massive. As you can see, my wingspan is pretty big because I'm like 5'10". So my wingspan is pretty big, and this is how much wider than my wingspan this is. It's insane. It's so insane. So I am not even really sure how to style such a huge thing, but I love that it's big because I'm a big person and I need, you know, I'm wide, I have wide shoulders, so you definitely want it to be big enough to kind of wrap and be warm. A lot of the times with shawl patterns, I get done with them, I'm like, this is it? How am I supposed to wear this? It's tiny, it's like a case, it's like a handkerchief. So this is definitely not like that, but I'll talk about the colors I used here. Color number 1 is this fog color. This is a homespun house in soft sock, I believe, and it's fog. This green is Farmer's Daughter's Fibers out of, I believe she's in Montana. And this is Emil. This is also Farmer's Daughter's Fibers in a one-of-a-kind colorway. And this was a twist, kind of a high twist fingering yarn. Sorry about that. Hopefully they're not getting into too much trouble. The yellow is Honey, that's the colorway, and it's Knit Picks gloss fingering. And the speckle, which this is a better shot of that, is an MCN from Ching Fibers, and that is the Shu Sui colorway. So basically we knit 2 halves of this at the same time and then knit them together at the end. And that's all I'm going to say in case you want to go ahead and buy the pattern. It's going to be released here soon in a few weeks. I didn't have any trouble with the pattern except at the end when I ended up knitting the 2 pieces together. I ended up it wasn't specified in the pattern whether or not you knit them together on the right side or the wrong sides, and I was actually on the wrong side, and that's how I ended up knitting it together. And the problem with doing that was that I had to knit an extra row to get back to the right side, and I think I ended up doing some increases at that point, so I ended up with more stitches on one side than the other side. The problem with that was when I got to the end, this is kind of one of the ends, there was supposed to be a navy triangle here, but I omitted it because I didn't want it to be so obvious, because the triangle I had knitted on one side was quite small, smaller than it should have been. This is the side, I think. So you can't really tell, and it doesn't really take away anything from the finished piece, I don't think. So, super happy with this. I had a blast knitting it. I recommend the pattern 100%. There wasn't any issues with the pattern. There's only been 2 edits, I believe, since she put the pattern out. So really, really well written, kept my interest. There's a lot of garter, but then there's some really simple lace, some eyelets, some drop stitches. I'm gonna have to fix that. Shit. Alright, so that's finished object number 2. Set this aside so I can fix that. See what I'm looking at here, that extra big. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but not good. Not good. Not good. This is what I have left of yarn. I used actually 1.5 balls of the Knit Picks. This is what I have left of 100 gram skein from Homespun House. This is Fog. It's kind of got a lavender undertone. Here's Emile by Farmer's Daughters. I have quite a bit of that left. I'm out of the blue, the navy, and then this was what I had left of the Shusui. So that's that. I'm gonna move right into my works in progress. I've decided to start a Sosu Knits shrug. It's called the Shusui shrug. In fact, it was called that because she ended up using Shusui by Qing Fibers, this exact colorway. And it's basically, it looks a lot like a huge triangular shawl, but has some armholes, some sleeves that are just shorter. So when you kind of put your arms out, it's like a bat wing type of situation. See if I can find a picture. Here's this kind of the schematic and shape of it. There's a picture of it. It's not a very good picture, but that's what I got at the moment. So it's brioche, a lot of brioche, but a lot of garter also, which is nice. Let me just grab my third. I'm using 2 skeins of this. This is Peepaloo Fields, and the colorway is called Madness. It's beautiful speckle, rainbow speckles basically, on a really ivory, creamy background, and it is so soft. And then I paired it with some Madeline Tosh sock. This is a high twist sock yarn from Madeline Tosh. This colorway is called Oak. It's very tonal, as you can see. And then the edges, which she suggests you use kind of a pop of color, and she uses an orange on hers. I chose Neon Peach, and I love this color too. So those are my 3 colors. And it's looking really, really good so far. I'm so happy. So here it is. I have to be careful showing you this because last night I dropped some stitches off the needle and it was a nightmare to get them back on. So here's what I have so far. I know it doesn't look like too much at this point, but you can get the idea of the speckles. I'm knitting this top down, so this is actually the top. So this would be at the back of your neck. And the shaping for the shoulders are those garter sections. And then it is reversible, so the back side is more green. Really, really soft. It's going to be really, really nice, airy. Very easy pattern, simple increases, really simple increases. I'm having a blast knitting this. It's going to take some time, obviously, because it's huge, but it's working up pretty quickly, I think. I'm sure there will be a point where it's going to turn into that never-ending in the middle, probably, but that's kind of where I'm at. And really, that's the only other work in progress I have going on right now. Now that I have those 2 pieces off my needles, there will be more projects cast on here soon. It always usually takes me a few days of like searching through Ravelry for something perfect to work on. I do have a couple of things in mind. I always end up saying I'm going to knit certain things in this podcast, and then I never end up knitting them, or I try and give up on them, or I find something else. So you never know if this is actually going to happen, but one of the things I'm thinking about is in the West Knits Best Knits book, and I saw this project on the Espace Tricot podcast. Melissa has knitted for a shop sample for their shop, and her colors are just so beautiful in that shawl, and it just looked so nice. Anyway, this is the Color Craving by Stephen West, and it's very, very cool. It's got these really, really big yarn over holes. See if there's another picture of it. Oh, this isn't really a good picture of it, but a different color palette anyway. I don't know what colors I'm going to use quite yet, but it's on my radar, I'll just say that. Of course, I love everything that Melissa knits on her podcast. I have favorited so many things that she has shared on there or worn on there. We just have the same taste in knitting. But another thing I had wanted to possibly do, and I showed a picture of this maybe last podcast or the one before, was a shawl with some beautiful cables that I wanted to do out of my Shibui yarn, and I'm thinking about possibly doing that also. So that's where I'm at in dream knitting. We'll see what happens. I'm sure tune in next time and I will probably be working on something new, as always. I have gotten some yarn this last week. I went a little crazy. I should not be buying yarn. I really shouldn't, but sometimes you just gotta do it. We just gotta do it. So I got sucked in a few times. First thing I got was yarn from Fiber for the People, which if you have not seen Taylor's yarn, or you should definitely follow her on Instagram. It's fiber.for.the.people on Instagram, and her website is fiberforthepeopleYarn or yarns.com. Check it out. Definitely check it out. I have been following her since she started playing around with yarn dyeing. She's a podcaster. You should check out her podcast. It's Wool Needles Hands Podcast. And I'm just so impressed. I'm impressed not only with the quickness in which she perfected the yarn dyeing process. I mean, literally, like, she practiced dyeing yarn for like a minute, and then all of a sudden she's got this big shop update and hundreds of skeins of yarn available, and probably 25 different colorways, and it was just insane. And then I'm also really impressed with her ability to social media promote her business on social media. That's half the battle sometimes, and a lot of people that start a handmade business don't realize how much work is involved when you think about all of the social media sharing and promotion that has to happen in order to make your business successful. So anyway, I'm just really impressed, and so impressed with her yarn. We did a little bit of a swap, and she ended up sending me a skein of this. This is Oil Spill, but it's a misfit, so it's a little bit off from her normal Oil Spill colorway, but it's still absolutely gorgeous. And she sent this to me on her extra fine merino single ply yarn. It's so pretty. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Her labels are so cute. She includes all this great information on there, how much yardage, and even the date she dyed it. And then I bought 3 more skeins during her update. So the ones I got are actually Oil Spill again, and also a misfit. But this is her 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon blend. It's a twist, which I've decided is my favorite type of fingering yarn to knit with. It's nice and plump and takes color really well, it seems, in all the different bases that I've tried. This is actually Taylor's favorite also. So there's her label info. Taylor's favorite. And then I also purchased a skein of Pearl Jam, which is one of my favorites of her new colorways. And this is actually on a Stellina base, Gold Stellina, which might be maybe the second skein I've ever gotten into my stash with that. It's a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% Stellina, 400 yards. You can see that glitter in there. It's really, really lovely, and I love the name, and I love the colors, and it's just perfect. And then I also had to pick up this because neon, and this is Hypercolor Shirt, and this is 460 yards. This is a 75% merino, 25 nylon blend called Loft. And it looks like it's a 4-ply. Nice and plump, very soft, and just love the colors in that too. So fun. So definitely check out Fiber for the People. Her next update is June 15th. So be there or be square. I'm definitely going to be there because she's offering some sock sets with all coordinating heel-toe colors, so definitely check that out. Another yarn company that I wanted to try out, I had gotten a while back. It was a collaboration between Republic of Wool and House of a la Mode, and it was their fandom colorway for 11 from Stranger Things. And I have since ordered yarn directly from House of a la Mode a few times, and I love it. It's so beautiful. And so I wanted to check out Republic of Wool, and caught her most recent update, and ended up getting 2 skeins of her flossy fingering in the tender colorway. And this is 75-25, 463 yards. So it's just a really beautiful pale mint and pink with lots of speckle. It's really, really soft and beautiful, like the name suggests, of course. So I'm really excited about those. This yarn base, I have to admit, is not my favorite. I wish it was a high twist, but I'm sure it will knit up beautifully. It is very soft. So I thinking I'm going to do a shawl with these, and maybe paired with another color, I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens with those, but very happy with those purchases also. That's Republic of Wool. Michelle, she's just amazing. And the last couple of things I want to talk about are some books I just recently received. This isn't going to be book reviews in any way, but I'm just going to show you some that I've added to my library. and I recommend them because they're gorgeous magazines, of course. So the first one is Making Magazine. I have recently subscribed to this magazine, so this is the first of the three upcoming issues that I'll be getting. And this is the most recent one, called Dots, and you've probably seen this on a million podcasts, but it's awesome. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, I had to wait a very long time to get my issue. I'm not sure what that was all about, why it took so long. I know a lot of people were waiting for their issues. But it did finally come, and I'm very glad, and I'm excited to try out some of the projects in here. The first of which is I'm going to try to make that wallet by my girl Anna Graham of Noodlehead. So cute. I got snaps and everything. So I'm excited to try that, possibly this afternoon. And as far as my favorite knitting project in this book would probably have to be this shawl. This is Shannon Cook pattern called Region. And it's just really, really pretty. I love it in that light neutral color, which I might have to try to find some of that. I do love these socks. If I was a sock knitter, I would knit those in a heartbeat. Great book. If you can get your hands on a copy, do so. It's amazing. Every issue has been amazing. Definitely worth subscribing to. Another one that I love is By Hand. This is By Hand, Making Communities, and it's a publication out of the author and creative director is Andrea Hungerford, and I think it's out of Washington State, but I don't know why I'm guessing. I'm totally guessing. So this is the newest issue, lookbook number 3, and it's all about Nashville. So it covers different people such as Camellia Fiber Company, which is a yarn company I have been swooning over, and eventually I will be able to order, hopefully. Mason-Dixon Knitting, Hunker Bag Company, House of Yarn. There are some knitting projects, sewing projects, and lots of really great articles. I have gotten their other 2 issues, and they're all wonderful. This is another one that I wish to hopefully someday subscribe to because it's so great. Highly recommend this magazine. There are lots of good things in there. And of course, you've probably seen this a million times on podcasts also. This is the new issue of Len magazine, Nordic Knit Life, and you want to talk about beautiful, holy Moses. Let me just show you. Every photo is just gorgeous. Love it. The patterns in this book are amazing. There is a great article on Andrea Mowry. She has a project in here that's really, really beautiful. It's a shawl pattern. There's also a great article about Felicia Lowe, who is the dyer behind Sweet Georgia Yarn. And she has a new book coming. It's out now, called Dying to Knit and Spin, I believe. And I definitely want that book, because I saw a really great short review on that from my girl Chrissy of Snappy Stitches podcast. Watch her latest episode. She talks about that book. It looks awesome. And it looks amazing not only for someone who's interested in dyeing yarn, but also someone who's interested in knitting with dyed yarn. This girl. So I guess that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed looking at these awesome peonies that came out of my garden this morning. They are gorgeous. So pretty. Just look at that yellow center. I'm hoping there's no ants on them. I always bring them in and then they're covered with ants. I'm probably going to be spending the afternoon maybe sewing or just staying cool because it's so dang hot. But I gotta go fix that shawl, so I gotta go. But thank you so much for watching. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope that what I shared today was of interest to you and that you'll come back again next time. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So nice to have you guys sit with me a few minutes and see what I've been working on, and I will see you in a few weeks to talk about my next projects. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye. I almost forgot to tell you about my jewelry. So I had been seeing on social media lately people talking about stitch marker necklaces, where it's a piece of jewelry that you can wear and has removable stitch markers to kind of save the day as you're knitting or whatever. So I wanted to kind of create that kind of idea, but with my own flair. So that usually just means that I like to use handmade components from all over the world, and just a bit more of a artistic version of it, I guess you could say. So this is one of them that I have created. This lampwork bead is from a France-based artist, my friend Florence Renaud of Lupiac Beads. And I dangled a large swivel lobster clasp on the bottom and then kind of added some seed beads to these little light bulb stitch markers just for a little color coding and a little extra color to bring in the colors of the necklace. And then the necklace itself is seed beaded. And the seed beads are strung on a waxed linen cording, so it's got really nice drape, and it's a long necklace, so there's no clasp, and it fits kind of like that. So this one is actually available in my online store if you're interested in checking it out. I think it's actually in my Etsy store, which is Lorelei Erdo jewelry.etsy.com, and I also have jewelry posted, which I didn't mention, at LorelaiErdoJewelry.com. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you. I've made several of these this past week. I really enjoy making them, and I'm going to be making some more of these this coming week to take to a shop that has inquired about carrying some of my jewelry. And actually it's a knit shop. It's a yarn store in Watkins Glen, New York. So I'm looking forward to doing some more and having them for sale at her shop. I think that they will fit right into her genre, obviously. The shop is called, I believe, Fiber on the Glen, maybe. I'll put it on the screen here so you can check that out if you're in the area. So anyway, bye. See you guys later.